You know that sinking feeling when you set up a high-end conference room?
Oh, yeah. The absolute worst.
Right, like you've got the expensive 4K display mounted perfectly on the wall, the source is configured in the rack, you run the HDMI cable, and
And you get absolutely nothing. The dreaded digital cliff.
yes, exactly. It works perfectly until you go just 1 foot too far, and then boom, sparkles, dropouts, or just a black screen. High bandwidth video signals really do not like long distances.
They really don't, and that's exactly what we're tackling today for you guys.
We are indeed. We're looking at a device designed to bridge that gap, literally. We're doing a deep dive into the Kramer EXT3-H PoE-R.
Which is a bit of a mouthful of a name, but it's a receiver designed for exactly that scenario. Taking a massive high bandwidth signal and dragging it over a distance that standard HDMI cables just can't handle.
So let's unpack the how here. Is this just like a fancy signal booster?
Well, no, it's quite a bit more sophisticated than a booster. This receiver utilizes HDBaseT 3.0 technology. It allows you to run professional-grade video, audio, and control signals over twisted pair copper infrastructure.
Basically, the Kramer Ethernet-style cabling you're probably already running through the walls.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's pause on that professional-grade part. I'm looking at the spec sheet here, and it says 4K 60, 4.4.4. Now, I know 4K is the resolution and 60 is the refresh rate, but that last part,
The 4.4.4, that is the big differentiator. Usually to squeeze 4K video down a long wire, devices use something called chroma subsampling, like 4.2.0.
where they literally throw away color information to save bandwidth, right?
Yeah.
Just betting the human eye won't notice.
You got it. Which is fine for a movie, maybe. But what if you're projecting an Excel spreadsheet with tiny red text on a black background?
Oh, yeah. If you compress the color, that text looks blurry or entirely washed out.
Exactly. 4.4.4 means zero compression. Every single pixel gets its full color data. This device preserves that integrity perfectly, along with HDR.
High dynamic range.
Right, and HDCP 2.3 for copyright compliance, so it handles modern protected content without breaking a sweat.
But there has to be a physical limit somewhere. You can't just push uncompressed data forever over copper.
There is a limit. For that maxed out setting, 4K, 60 frames, zero compression, you are limited to 40 meters.
Which is about 130 feet.
Right.
130 feet feels pretty decent.
Yeah.
But maybe a bit tight for a really large auditorium.
It definitely depends on the install. If you're willing to drop the specs slightly, say down to 4K at 30 Hz or just standard 1080p, that range jumps up to 70 meters.
Or 230 feet. So you basically trade speed for distance.
Precisely. But the one thing you do not trade is latency. It's described in the specs as near zero.
That is so critical. Because if I'm moving a mouse on a podium, I can't wait half a second for the cursor to move on the screen behind me. It totally ruins the presentation.
Oh, it's disorienting. Now, beyond the video, I think the feature that actually saves the most headaches for installers is the power situation. This unit supports bidirectional PoE.
I saw that. Symmetrical power over Ethernet. Does that mean what I think it means?
It means you don't need an electrician at both ends of your run. The receiver can power the transmitter, or the transmitter can power the receiver.
That's huge. Because usually the receiver is tucked way up in a drop ceiling behind a projector.
And there is never an outlet exactly where you need one up there.
Never.
So you just feed it power from the rack room side and you're done. It simplifies the infrastructure immensely. Plus, it's not just video and power traveling down that line, it's control signals too.
Like remote controls.
Yes. It has bidirectional RS-232 and a 3.5 millimeter mini jack for IR control.
So you could use a control system to manage the display, or just point a remote at the TV, and that signal travels all the way back to the rack to change the channel on the cable box.
Exactly, everything over that one cable.
And physically, since it's likely living in a ceiling or a quiet boardroom, is it noisy?
It's silent. It's a Digitools form factor, meaning it's completely fanless. The enclosure design allows for convection cooling. You can even rack mount 3 of them side by side in a single one-use space if you're running a massive video wall.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
No buzzing fans interrupting the meeting. Now, speaking of sound, does it strip the audio down to save space?
Not at all. It supports up to 32 channels of uncompressed digital stereo. We are talking studio-grade formats like Dolby True HD, DTS-HD. It handles them without bottlenecking.
It sounds like an absolute workhorse. And the user reviews in our research pile seem to back that up too. We saw words like excellent and comments on the supplier's consistent reliability popping up constantly.
Because in professional AV, reliability is the only metric that really matters. You install it once and you never want to have to think about it again.
And at a price point around $496, discounted from $620 HAL, it's priced exactly for that professional tier.
Right.
So to wrap this up for you listening, the Kramer EXT3-H PoE-R is essentially a guarantee that your display gets the pristine signal it deserves, without the compression artifacts or the wiring headaches.
It sacrifices nothing. Not the color, not the speed, not the audio fidelity.
It really makes you appreciate how much engineering goes into just moving a picture from point A to point B.
It does, and it leaves us with a really interesting question. We're pushing massive amounts of uncompressed data through twisted pair copper using HDBaseT 3.0.
Right.
It makes you wonder, are we finally hitting the physical wall of what copper wire can do?
Right.
Or will copper just keep evolving to rival fiber optics for these short to medium range runs?
Definitely something for you to chew on the next time you plug in a cable. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.